Hello, my name is Pamela Makumbi. I am married. I've been married for 14 years. I'll be celebrating my 14th anniversary next month. And welcome to my YouTube channel. So we're going to be talking about marriage and relationships. Why marriage? Because I'm very, very passionate about marriage. I believe it's my calling, and I also believe from the bottom of my heart that marriage is very dear to the heart of God. So on this channel, we are going to be talking about how to do marriage well, how to do marriage in such a way that it glorifies God. So today, on our very first episode, we are going to talk about the purpose of marriage. Why marriage? You know, every time a purpose of something is unknown, it's abused or it's misused because it ends up being used for the wrong reason. And many people have never known the purpose of marriage, and so it has been abused, it has been misused. And as a result, there are so many people out there who are hurting because of bad marriages. There are so many people who have been misplaced, children who have no home, and all sorts of things. And some people have even lost their lives because marriage has been misused. So today we are going to try to understand why marriage. Why marriage? So the very first thing that I want to share is whenever I ask people why they get married, I ask them, why do you want to get married? And usually the reasons they will say is to have sex legally, to have companionship, love, to provide a home for children, to be socially accepted because it's the right thing to do, economic advantage, security, and so many other reasons that come up. But guess what? In our generation today, marriage does not guarantee any of this stuff. Like, people get married and their children are still not socially accepted. People get married and they still don't have an economic advantage because you find like spouses are hiding from each other, they're cheating on each other. I mean, people get married and they still have terrible sex lives and all that. So if marriage is not able to guarantee all these things, then why marriage? Like, why would God bring marriage into our lives if it does not have any real purpose? So many of us believe, and this is thanks to Hollywood and the fairy tales, that marriage is here to make us happy. That we literally get married because we're in love and we're going to be living happily ever after. What a shock. People are in marriages and they're so unhappy. Like, they're so unhappy. So why marriage? Why marriage? Marriage was authored and orchestrated by God. It was his idea all by himself. Like, we didn't go to him and tell him, God, we want to get married, or this we want an opportunity to live together and all that. It was God's idea. And we see this from the very beginning in the Garden of Eden, after God had created Adam and Eve, gave him a garden, gave him animals to tend to, gave him a whole life. Literally, his life was complete. Like, he had everything. He had a job, he had a home, he had an identity, he had everything. But then God looks and says, it is not good for man to live alone. And so at this point, God said, I'll make him a helper. Some versions say comparable to him, some versions say suitable for him. So God makes him a helper. So from the very beginning, when man is created, we see a woman coming in, and they have to be together. They have to work together. So when you read further in the New Testament, in Ephesians chapter 5, from verse 1 to 32, verse 31 to 32, it says, as a man leaves his father and mother, this is the the New Living Translation. A man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. This is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one. So what the Bible is telling us literally here is that a man leaves his mother and father and are joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. And it says this is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one. So literally what they're telling us here is that the purpose of marriage is literally for us to illustrate the church and Christ, to illustrate that relationship between the church and Christ. So marriage is the blending of two lives in the deepest possible way to serve the purpose of God. And that purpose is the illustration of the church and Christ. Now, if you do that purpose well, if you achieve the purpose for which marriage was set, and you do it really well, you will have all these other things that we think marriage is supposed to be about. You'll be happy, you'll have great sex, you'll have a meaningful companionship, you'll be able to love each other really, really deeply. Your home will be a perfect place to raise children. You'll be accepted in society. Most people actually gain respect when they say they're married because, there's just that kind of respect that is accepted in society. You'll be admired. You'll definitely have economic advantage because they say two are better than one. And of course, your security is guaranteed. But that is a byproduct of having the real purpose of marriage. So when you do something well, you get the result for which it was meant to be, but there are also some advantages that come with it. So marriage, with its main purpose of illustrating the church and Christ, if done well, then all these other things that we look for in marriage, happiness, security, all those things I've mentioned, will be guaranteed. Why? Because you have done it well. So before you go around looking for happiness in marriage, first live the real purpose of marriage, and then all these byproducts will kind of just flow in. To be so effortless that you find yourselves happy, you find yourselves living the best marriage because you have served the real purpose of marriage. When a drug is used well, it has the best results. So next week, I want us to talk about how do we do marriage well? How do we do it in such a way that we actually realize the purpose for which it was made? Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I hope you are blessed. Have a lovely day.